At Lowe's, we're your go-to for great gardening values every day. That's why we've lowered our price on select bagged mulch, now starting at just $2.88 a bag. Mulch helps prevent weeds and retains moisture, and when you put it down around trees, shrubs, and flower beds, you'll see how beautiful it makes your outdoor space. Just in time to welcome back family and friends. Shop online and pick up in store. Lowe's, home to the best part of summer. Selection and product availability vary by location. While supplies last, U.S. only. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
The following podcast is not affiliated with the developers who have created the games being reviewed. The reviews are solely the opinions of the hosts to be used to make an educated decision on what games to download and play.
Hello, gamers, and welcome to Budget Arcade, the number one free-to-play gaming podcast in the world. I'm Scott.
I'm Jeff, host of the number one podcast reviewing Hitchcock movies chronologically in order, starring a guy named Jeff.
And hey, I'm Mark. I have a new podcast. It's called Budget Arcade.
This guy, man. Listen, Scott is the king of self-promotion, okay? He's out there slinging Budget Arcade. You are the antithesis. You're terrible at this. For all who don't know, Mark does actually have a new podcast.
I didn't think it was appropriate to plug
okay.
my
Let me
podcast.
say something to you.
Yes.
All right. I've been on this show since day one.
Uno.
And I just plugged my own podcast on it.
For the first time?
No, man.
Oh.
Mark, what was... wait, Scott. Tell them what we do here.
Oh, gosh. Just to recap, we play a free-to-play game every other week, and then we rate and review it. This is episode 83, by the way. And Mark, what was this week's game?
This week we played Auto Chess. That's the name of the game. And it was developed by Drodo Studios. Published by Dragon Nest and Epic Games. It is an auto battler. It was originally released on April 18th, 2019, on the iOS, Android, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and PC.
So,
how'd I do, Jeff?
Okay, you did okay. Now, there's a lot of history here that I'm going to get into, but first to correct you, I don't believe it's on Switch yet. It is on PS4, and it doesn't particularly run great. When it launched, it was only on mobile for the longest, and then they released a PC client recently, and that's been ported to PS4, and in the near future, I'm guessing Switch, which I didn't know about.
Well, you can take that up with the Wikipedia page. All right.
Well, it's Wikipedia.
Are these all cross-playable, do you know?
I don't think so.
That's a good question. I don't know. I believe that the PlayStation 4 and the PC one are, because they look the same. And that's just me guessing. And then your mobile one is cross-platform with other mobile ones, I believe. But I don't honestly know for certain. We didn't really test that. Let's get into the history of this and why, before we jump into gameplay, why this auto chess game matters. Even though it's, of the ones that are out there, one of the less popular, I would say maybe third. Some would argue Chess Rush, but I believe this has more player base. But so your most popular being TFT, and then Dota Underlords, and then this. The reason this game matters is that the whole auto chess craze started as a mod for Dota 2. And Valve, I believe, approached Drodo, which is why sometimes you'll hear me call this Drodo Auto Chess. Drodo is the original developer who made that mod. And I don't know the details, but my understanding is that Valve reached out to them to help them publish a fully licensed auto chess game with all the Dota characters. And for some reason that didn't work out, and they went out on their own. So Valve went on to make Dota Underlords, and then Drodo went out and made this game, Auto Chess, and they have the copyright to the words Auto Chess to name their product Auto Chess, which is what we often default to calling this genre of game. And so this is the original, without playing the original mod, this is as close you can get, I believe, to that original Auto Chess formula.
So the Dota one was before the League of Legends one?
Yes.
Okay.
They were... that's a good question. I believe so, yes, because... So the very, very first one was the mod for Dota 2. And then I believe Dota Underlords came out, and then almost like right after that, the TFT came out.
Yeah, well, I mean, TFT was a mod for League of Legends as well.
I'd be hard-pressed to call that a mod because it's developed by Riot in their software. So
yeah,
it's
but
close.
wasn't it? It was developed by Mort originally as a mod, if I'm not mistaken, and then the Riot Games bought it up from him and continued to have him working on it, if I'm not mistaken.
This episode is boring.
Shut up, Mark. Go play your PS4, you rich.
PS5, sir.
Oh, excuse me.
Hey, the internet.
He flies around on that.
The internet did confirm that
I will look that up as we get into gameplay about TFT.
What did you say, Mark?
The internet has confirmed that crossplay is available.
Okay, between all the platforms or just a few?
Yes, all the platforms.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's good.
Gameplay.
All right, so if you haven't played an auto chess before, or if you haven't heard our auto chess episodes before, then this will be all new to you, I guess. You have a
or you just go back
located...
and listen to the other ones.
Well, that too, Yeah, go back and listen to the other ones. They're better anyways, right? No, but anyway, so you have like a chessboard, basically, I believe eight squares up and down within all, you got your side and your opponent's side. You purchase your characters at the start of each round. You earn gold at the end of each round. Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Am I missing anything, Jeff?
All right, let's. So you have your interest. So you use your gold to buy units. When you get 3 units, they merge. Did you say that?
No, I didn't say that yet.
Okay, so do we really have to tell you about these again? Go listen to Chess Rush.
You know what? Yeah, go listen to Chess Rush. That tells you everything.
And you buy your characters and you put them on the board and they fight other people's characters. So I'll talk about the differences. And there really aren't that many because like I was saying at the beginning, this is pretty much the purest form of an auto battler because it's made by the guys who invented the genre.
Yeah, there's one difference that I did not like in this that I do like about Chess Rush was the fact that at the end of the round, when you earn your gold for winning the round, you weren't able to purchase a unit quickly enough before it recycled the store.
Say that.
So so at the end of a battle, when you win, you get your 1 gold for winning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, say you had, that 1 gold gives you just enough to where you can purchase a unit that you really need. Well, you can't purchase that unit before the store cycles again, because as soon as you win that gold, it cycles at the exact same time. Whereas there's a little bit of a leeway between the next round and when it cycles in Chess Rush.
Now, were you playing on PC or your phone?
Mobile.
Okay. I did not notice that. Also, just a side note, I can't find any evidence on the internet within just a few minutes of Googling to support that Mort did this as a mod. My understanding, he was just put in charge of it, but I have no idea. So think for yourselves, everyone. So the other thing is the way the itemization works in this. So with a lot of these games, there's the creep rounds, which for those who don't know, it's where you play against NPCs, so to speak. So normally you're playing against other players' teams, but in these off rounds, you play against little creatures like wolves and little orcs and all this stuff. And at the end of those rounds, should you win them, you get to select from 3 different items. And you don't have to select them right away. You can kind of leave them in the tray and then kind of select them later and build other items. So as you grab them, you can combine them. It's not as straightforward and simple as it is in TFT. And I say that as someone who's said that its TFT system is a little convoluted. It's way simpler than what's happening here with these items, because in TFT, every item can combine with every other item. So you don't have to worry about recipes as much because you can just experiment because they all join together. Whereas this, not every item combines with every item. So learning those recipes is a lot harder here. And it's also really important to know what to build towards as you build your team. I think that's really the biggest difference is the way the itemization works here. I think it's a lot deeper, but it's a lot more intimidating as well.
Yeah, the items, like combining them, I didn't understand that at all.
Yeah,
These games are long.
Great
Do what?
commentary.
Game,
ahead,
that's
Mark.
part of gameplay. That's part of the gameplay. These games are long.
Well, I mean, that's typical with these games, Mark, unless you're playing a turbo version, which Chess Rush has. They are generally long rounds, up to 35 to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
They're not, it's not a pick up and go type of game. It's, you've got to invest some time into each time you play.
Well, I just figured we should touch on that because we don't know if they've listened to all of the other Auto Battler episodes we've done, so.
This is the last one, right, Brett? Right, Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, it's the last one that I've played extensively.
I did like the fact, and I now granted I haven't played all of the Auto Battlers that you guys have, and the ones that we've reviewed, this one had a little battery, phone battery meter up at the top, and I thought that was pretty cool. It's
and
because
the time too.
Yeah, and these games, they hog
I guess they're long.
Yes. And they hog your battery. And so it's nice to see your little battery icon so you can see how much your battery has depleted in your 35-minute round. Now,
let's talk about the graphic, because this is the biggest shortcoming of the game. It looks awful is a strong word. But if you compare it to all the other major, like Chess Rush, Dota Underlords, and TFT, this is easily the worst looking one, especially on mobile. So, and actually, the interface, I think, looks better on mobile than the interface does on PC. But on PC, you can zoom in and pan, and the table that you're playing on is 3D. It's fully rendered, so you can look around and everything. Whereas on mobile, it's a still static image. Now, occasionally they'll have little effects that show up, but largely the background is static. And the magic effects aren't that impressive, and it's just kind of a boring looking game.
I did enjoy the characters, the pieces, I guess, a little bit more than the other ones. I don't know if it's because they were just kind of just more plain, or they had like a fantasy element to them. But I thought the characters in this one, as compared to, what was the last Auto Battler?
Teamfight Tactics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought I like the characters in this game more than I did that game.
So I will say there are things about this that are better than TFT. My biggest criticism of TFT is it doesn't put enough information out there, and largely on every other Auto Battler, there's a button you can hit on screen that will show you the entire lobby, and you can see what people are playing and what units they have, and maybe you kind of guess what they're building towards. And that's important because in all these auto battlers, it's a shared pool of characters. So if someone's buying up all the archers, you may not want to play archers. And being able to tell at a glance, hey, there's a lot of people playing a particular unit or a particular class, you can decide quickly to not do that without having to thumb around to each board like you have to in TFT. You don't have to do that here. I think largely this game gets more things right than it does wrong. The things I don't like tend to be nitpicky, like the graphics, and I'm not huge. I don't think the UI looks great, and it's not intuitive, and there's a little lag. So like, okay, if you go back and play Dota Underlords, which is a dead game, they've really just stopped developing for it, so I can't really recommend it. But there's so much polish on that game on the phone, so when you pick up a unit and you drag it across the board, your phone vibrates just a little bit after you pass over every square, and it just makes it a little more intuitive as to where you're putting things. And when you pick them up, under your finger, you can see that little unit kind of waving its arms and legs because you're picking it up, you know what I mean? And in this, it doesn't do that, and it has this like laggy response of it going to that place. So this feels like an indie game. It just doesn't have that polish behind it that you're going to find elsewhere.
Yeah, I noticed that laggy response too. It was quite annoying. There was times that I didn't get units placed where I wanted to. And I think another thing that this didn't get right, and maybe they have it, but I didn't discover it yet, but I know like, so in Chess Rush, there is a formation button that you can pick, and it's a predetermined formation that your units will cycle into, that you can put them into. And I didn't find anything like that in this, so you had to move all of your units individually to get them into any sort of formation. Yeah.
And I know Mark barely played this game, probably didn't even watch YouTube like he claims I do, but
I played 3 35-minute matches, sir.
Ooh, great job.
That's one more than I did, Mark.
Oh, man. I'm going to carry this episode again.
Yep.
All right. And now, so like Lincoln says I talk too much, but on the episodes I talk too much, it's usually because it's one of the few episodes where I played the game and you guys didn't. Like that one time Scott barely installed Fruit Ninja. So what was I talking about here?
Barely installed? Did he like...
he's like, it started downloading. He goes, you know what? Thumbs down from me. It will not get my...
You know what? The 75%
I've played Fruit Ninja before. I'm done.
Yeah, basically.
All right, let me ask this question.
Can you blame me? Jeff, can you blame me? I got Stardew Valley on my phone. Sorry.
Oh, you do? Stardew Valley is a great game. Too bad it's not free to play. Otherwise, we could have a week of relaxing gameplay, low stakes gameplay.
This is true.
Yeah. I forgot where I was going to go with this.
What about Toon Blast? Can we review that game next?
No. Mark. No.
Low stakes gaming.
What were we talking about before we got...
I have a question. I have a question about auto battlers. So,
okay.
All these auto battler games, Teamfight Tactics, Chess Rush, this one.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. Let me make it. Go ahead.
Is it just... It's mainly just cosmetic stuff that is different in all of these games, right?
So that is not an unfair criticism. So I would say Auto Chess, Chess Rush, and Dota Underlords absolutely are all modeled after the Dota mod, right? They have similar units, they just change the names. They like you can play Chess Rush, Drodo Auto Chess, and Dota Underlords and find characters that all kind of correlate. There are exceptions. Now,
warriors on every game.
Yeah.
There's like mages on every game.
And as much as I'm critical of TFT, I think that honestly, TFT is probably the best auto battler, mostly because it's actively developed. And it doesn't try to copy unit for unit like these other ones do. It feels like its own thing.
That's because they're already using units from a different game.
Absolutely. But they don't, you play, one of the things I think that, and you guys can attest to this, well, maybe not Mark, because he didn't play a lot of the other ones we played, but I think that TFT was the hardest one to get into, and granted, a lot of that is because it's not as forward with the information as I'd want it to be, but I also think it's because it's so different from Dota Underlords, Auto Chess. It feels different. So like when we went from Dota Underlords to Chess Rush and then into this, I think you can really jump between those pretty easily. There's a Tusk character who literally in all three of those games has tusks and does the big uppercut that is in those three games. That character isn't in TFT. So yes, Mark, I think that a lot of them are just skins and cosmetic, the way they look different, and there are other subtle differences. But for the most part, with those core three, yes. But TFT, I would argue, is much more different.
We should make Mark go back and play the Battle Royale one.
You're not making Mark do anything.
No, you can't now. So if anybody wants to know, I liked it all right. I know Scott hated it, but now it is definitively terrible because they updated it and it's pay to win and it's ruined. It's awful. But we're talking about the Might and Magic Chess Royale. I did want to say one thing. And I wish other games got it as right as Chess Rush does. The aesthetic, the simplicity, the fact that all the information's in front of you, nobody has done it better than Chess Rush. And it sucks that they don't have much of a player base anymore because the game's dying. It's not really being updated that much. They just released a new season. And instead of giving us new characters like they normally do and cool new boards, they just did color swaps on the boards and no new characters. So it really feels like that game is not making money enough for them to continue to actively develop it. So sadly, I think that one's dying, and really we're just going to have TFT as our only option, which is not good. I would like there to be more competition in the market, but I wish people would look at Chess Rush and just see how much they do right, how that is the easiest one to pick up and play and learn the genre of auto battling. So if you've never played one before, I'm still pointing you to Chess Rush.
Paywall.
So the paywall is basically the same as it is in all the other games. This is not a pay-to-win game. It's pay to bedazzle, as Scott would say. And you get skins for your character, for the on-screen pieces, which I do not like. Because the aesthetics of the characters to me, now it's totally optional though at the same time, so it really doesn't affect me. So I suppose I don't really have a problem with it. But
well, so hold on, Jeff. If say I buy a skin for a character, does it show up on you as my opponent? Will it show up on your board that you're seeing a different skin on that character?
Yes. So my characters will look normal with their stock skins, but when we fight each other, your characters should have those skins on them.
Okay, so, but I mean, like, what you're seeing on my side of the board doesn't reflect what's actually on my character. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it should. So if you buy like the surfer skin for the axe guy, when we fight each other, my axe guy will look stock. Your axe guy will look like surfer axe guy.
So wait, your axe guy, as in you've got the same character on your side. The
same, yeah.
But on your opponent's side of the board, they've got that same character, but with a skin on.
Right.
Okay, so that's see, I don't like that at all.
And I'm with you.
Because that would make it where you're like, okay, well, what character is this? I have to dig deeper to figure out which character this is to see if I'm even like, what I'm fighting against. That's a little. I don't like that at all.
I don't like it, but at the same time, if it were TFT, I would for sure not like it. But the fact that this game has that little tray you can pull out and see what everyone's running at a glance, it kind of mitigates that problem for me. I don't think it's a huge issue. Also, you can still see their classes and all that stuff. So I think in the long run, it's a bit of a negative, but it's not a huge problem. Along with that, you can get boards, which is just, which I find interesting. When you're playing on PC, they're at least 3D and animated and cool. And when you're on mobile, though, it's like you unlocked a JPEG. And to me, it's like, what's the point? And they're the most expensive thing in the game, is the boards you play on. And they're not particularly great looking either. Some of them are just flat out ugly. Then you can get, so much like all of these games, you have a character that represents you, that you can get different skins for, different characters and voice lines. There's stickers and icons and all your other usual cosmetic garbage. And I say that because, like I said, this game doesn't look that great, so I'm not particularly tempted by any of this stuff.
You got to keep this awkward silence in the action.
No, you don't. I'm just waiting for Mark to contribute. Which YouTuber did you watch, Mark?
Why would I watch a YouTube video on this garbage game? I played this garbage game, and it was garbage. I don't know how y'all enjoy
Mark,
these games. I don't know
what was garbage about it? Use your words.
So, I don't enjoy the length aspect. Obviously, we've touched on that. I don't enjoy this game particularly, as opposed to the last one we played. It took a long time for me to even get a 3-star character. Much longer, and I played 3 games. Much longer than it took me in the last auto battler we played. And that kind of just took the fun out of it for me, I guess, because I did enjoy the last one we played more than this one. And I think that was because the character amassing your board took longer in this game. For me, in my gameplay experience, it took longer to amass high level characters and be competitive. And I played, I guess, a ranked match, and it just the gameplay elements in this game didn't match up to my gameplay experience with the last auto battler we did, and that's why I didn't enjoy this one as much as I did the other one.
So TFT is way more polished than this, and also TFT has a max unit count of 9. There is another item that you can get that will allow you to get up to 10, but rarely do people even hit that level. So building your team up actually does go a little bit quicker in TFT, but you're facing all the same hurdles that everyone else is when you talk about being competitive. Right. So I think 3 games is not enough to know how to be competitive in an auto battler, especially, and I don't mean this as an insult, Mark, you're a novice to the genre. And I would say it took me, when we did Dota Underlords, it took me 10, 15 hours to get where I was even finishing in the top 4. So I get what you're saying. And I think for something, and this is something we run into a lot with this podcast, is that you get certain games that require more out of you time-wise to be able to understand and get what makes them good. So I think your criticisms are fair to a degree, but those same criticisms, I think, can really be leveled at any auto battler, because there is a steep learning curve.
And I get that, and I accept that. But as far as the paywall goes, because we're in the paywall section.
Oh yeah, that's right. Surprised we weren't. I
don't think Scott's still on the call.
Yeah,
so
did he drop off? We can talk about whatever we want. Oh.
No, I'm still here. I'm letting you have your time.
Thank you.
Ooh, shots fired.
Thank you, Overlord Scott. No, I don't have anything to
get it right. I'm
it.
Tyrant Scott.
Tyrant Scott.
Yes.
Yep.
Lincoln has changed your title.
Replayability.
So replayability is, in my opinion, like I said, it's a steep learning curve, but it's high here like it is in every other one. I think the hurdle to that is it's so clunky compared to everything else that it kind of gets in the way of you wanting to play it. Like, so much of what will keep you coming back to a game is how smooth it is and how easy it is to jump back into. And like even TFT, I think is hard to jump back into because the load times are long, but at least when you get in, everything's nice and fluid. This is not. This doesn't have a strength in any of those regards. The load times are okay, but it's just so like frustrating sometimes to try to get things figured out and it doesn't read very well, that I think that gets in the way of the replayability because it makes learning harder. Whereas something like Chess Rush, the learning is a lot easier in that game because it's all the information is right there and it's just a tap away. So it makes you playing to learn more fun. So even if you're losing early on because you're learning the game, you're at least picking up knowledge that makes it more fun to dive back in the second time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that this game lacks that. But it does have a ranked mode. So you can rank up and, resets for seasons, which is pretty much par for the course for games like these. It has a casual mode. It has a turbo mode that, I think it has a turbo mode. Namik will let us know. He only plays turbo modes. But then every once in a while you'll sign in and there'll be some sort of new rule set to play as, which I never do because I don't like that sort of thing. I just like stock auto chess. But that's basically it. I mean, there really isn't... It's auto chess at this point. It's... Because it's a multiplayer game, it's essentially endlessly replayable.
Thank you for joining us on Hitchcock Chronological.
Jeff Arcade.
I don't think Scott played this game.
No, I did. I played a little bit of it.
And you guys have played them before, and I get it. And there's plenty of games that Scott tries to make me play where I'm just like, I don't want to play this. Especially all the gotcha games. I don't want to play those, man.
So I should get another gotcha game for this week.
Do your worst. I'll find YouTube videos. I just, I get it. It's auto chess isn't for everyone. But if it does hook you, it can be like the only game you play for a long time.
Judgment.
All right, so at the end of each episode, we vote on whether a game deserves our seal or not and requires a 2/3 vote to be approved or denied. Mark, what do you say?
Negative.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, this gets a no from me as well. Just, I didn't feel this game. It didn't hook me like Chess Rush did, and it's just, I couldn't go back to it every day. So, no, it's no for me. Jeff, how about yourself?
So, it pains me to say it's a no, because everything else is better. Chess Rush is better, Dota Underlords is better, and those have basically been abandoned. And TFT is actively being developed and is better. That's why I would say no. If this were the only auto chess game on the market, I would play the heck out of it, though. But I would have to get over so many quality of life hurdles that we take for granted in games. It's just clunky and underdeveloped. It needs more time in the oven, but it's been out so long that I don't think that will even help it. So there's no reason not to play it, but I can recommend 3 other games I think you'll have more fun with. So no, I don't think. The other reason I'd want to say yes is because these are the guys who made this genre, right? These are the original authors. And I would say it's worth looking at for that reason. But it's just not, they don't have the money and the budget or the technical know-how to make a game like this at this level with this much of a player base, I think.
All right, so this game is not Budget Arcade approved. We did have a commentary from Nomic, which he recorded.
Hey guys, this is Namik dropping commentary on the auto chess game. Now, is auto chess bad? No, not by any means. It's actually, in my opinion, a lot better than Team Fight Tactics, although Jeff might disagree. it still doesn't hold up against the Champ Chess Rush. Now, why is this the case? Well, it's pretty well polished in a lot of different ways. I played on mobile and PC to see what the progression experience was. The progression does carry over, so that's nice. PC is obviously a lot better than mobile. Mobile I found to be a little bit buggier, but the biggest complaint I had on Auto Chess was that it was the user interface. Everything's a little convoluted. You can get to certain things, but it doesn't always work, such as trying to see what the benefits of the assassin class is as you're trying to press and hold on that to get it to notify you. It doesn't always pick it up on that. Computer does work a lot better, but the user interface is kind of the issue with this game. For example, one thing that I was trying to do, and call it lack of preparation, I was trying to change my lineup mid-match, and although it would show me the lineups in a list, once I selected it, there was no way that I could find to have it selected to where it'll highlight the characters that I have selected for that lineup. So once I hit select or whatever on it and exited that menu, the lineup disappeared, and it would just give me the top 2 lineups that I have characters for, which is nice if you want to just go off of whatever characters you've already bought. But I like to build with a direction in mind, and this game did not let me. Now, that's probably user error. There might be some way to do it. There might also be a menu option that will allow you to change that prior to. I just didn't spend that much time on it. Then there's also a tutorial that pops up on the bottom of the screen as you're playing this game. And you can click it and it brings up a screen or two with arrows and whatnot you can go through. But I found that when I was trying to read that tutorial, all of a sudden the round would end and the next preparation phase would start. And I didn't always notice it. So there was times where I'd get out of the tutorial with 5 seconds left to buy a piece that I had no idea what I was doing. The tutorials are nice, but not that effective in the middle of a match because I found myself skipping them just to get to the game. Lastly, this is very super nitpicky of me. My biggest complaint about this game is the overall amount of notification. At the very beginning of the game, you get a series of ads, buy this, buy that, yada yada. And it's probably 5 to 15 different screens that pop up. You're able to select don't show me again today. But if you play the next day, whenever the servers refresh, it'll do the same thing. And I expect that with a mobile game especially, so granted on PC it did it too, but the thing that I'm super nitpicky about on this though is that every time you play a match, the first time you level up a character to a new level, level 2 and level 3, once you get back out of the match and you go to your home page, there's a notification bubble on an icon for you to go read the lore about it. You don't get the lore unless you level up the characters, which some people like that type of progression. I'd rather just have all the lore at my fingertips. If I want to read it, I want to read it. I hate, and this is just my obsession, I hate having notification bubbles on different things to make me click on it, because I like to clear that, but every time I'd play a new match and level up a new character, I'd have to go back and read whatever that lore was on that person. Now, once you play the game long enough, you'll eventually get to the point where there's no new lore for you, but why not just go ahead and unlock it up front? But this is not all bad. There are a few key things that I think is really positive on Auto Chess. One, when you buy the Battle Pass, which I did not, most of the Battle Passes for these mobile games, you play for a week, you do quests for a week, you get points, then the next week comes out, it clears that week log, and you just keep on progressing. But if you miss a week, normally you can't go back to the previous week's quest. This game you can. So that's huge. If you take a hiatus for 2 to 3 weeks, you can go back and go ahead and do whatever quest you missed. Another key thing, if you have items during a match and you don't really want to sit there and figure out who to put them on, instead of just seeing who they recommend for it to go to, you can actually select Disperse Best Configuration, a little button icon, and it'll give all your items to any characters that it would recommend normally. And then on top of it, if you get new characters and you hit that button occasionally, it'll redisperse the equipment. So you don't have to do any equipment management, which is kind of cool. But hey guys, my rant and rave is over. I would definitely give this game a seal. It's not bad. It's polished well enough. You'll enjoy it, probably, if you like the auto battler. But it's not as good as Chess Rush.
Thank you, Nomic, for that. So Jeff, you want low stakes gaming this week, right?
Let's play Let It Die.
What is that?
I just looked looked it up.
I'm afraid to ask. So wait, when did we say Wild Rift comes out in 2 weeks, right?
I don't know. I can't find a release date or
It's
the actual
into
release
March.
date.
It's the 29th, I think. So I guess we'll do Wild Rift after this.
Yeah, that's probably best. Okay, so low stakes gaming this week then.
I'm very afraid because you keep saying that.
And there's all
So-
sorts of stakes.
Yeah,
Then-
the stakes
there's-
are my happiness over the next 2 weeks.
The only steak was the one I made for dinner, and it was very good. So
Bad
next
jokes.
week's game will be Geometry Dash Meltdown.
So, if you have epilepsy or are prone to it, do not play this week's game.
Oh,
Okay?
you played it, huh?
If you're prone to motion sickness, do not play this week's game.
Instead, you can listen to my
Everyone
podcast,
else-
Crossing Streams, featuring me and your boy, Elliot.
Oh my god, he did it. He did it.
Hey, Google, I did it.
Hey, Google, is Mark an idiot?
Yes. That's my girl.
She doesn't know about this one. I don't think this is low stakes gaming. I have played this game. It's tough.
Yeah, but it's not like high stakes. I mean, you can put it down pretty easy
But
and pick
it's-
it back up easy.
Well, yeah, but what I mean by low stakes is like you mentioned Stardew Valley where you're farming. You know, like, just digging a hole. Or like Animal Crossing. This is going to get my blood. I like the game, though. I played Geometry Wars. So, which version are we playing?
Meltdown.
Okay. I'm fine with that. Okay, when we do mobile games, this is the kind of mobile game I can get behind, right? So, okay, I'm good. And then we do Wild Rift after that, which I'm really excited for.
And that's not low stakes whatsoever. Poor
No,
Mark is
not
gonna
at
be,
all.
Like, pissed.
Mark's going to hate it, but it's fun.
I already.
Mark's
play
gonna be
MOBA
like,
games,
It was an
Mark?"
hour-long game per
Oh, that's
time
true.
I played.
Yeah, they are like
I don't
30
even know
minute
what
games.
Wild Rift is. I don't.
It's a MOBA. It's a League of Legends MOBA
Okay.
for mobile.
Can we play Roblox? Can we do Roblox?
No, we cannot do Roblox.
No, that is banned.
What?
Yep. It's been banned.
Why has it been banned?
Hey,
Give
the
me the
dictator
history
has
of the
spoken,
banning.
Okay? It's banned.
Because my kids played the hell out of it, and I will never review it. Fortnite
You
was
said the same
pushing
thing
it.
about Minecraft. Not Fortnite.
No, Fortnite was just, because we had gotten tired of it. But, it was Fortnite.
We used to play Fortnite a lot, so it wasn't like we
Yeah.
didn't like the game.
Yeah, Roblox is on a whole nother level of crap.
Yeah. Why do you like Maybe just do a solo episode. Just pump out some hot garbage for an
We're
off
talking
week.
about one of the most popular
Well-
games on the planet right now.
All right, how about this? You and Lincoln can do an episode of Roblox together.
Yeah, leave me out of it.
And me.
You know what? I think I will do a episode with Lincoln.
Yeah, as long as you stay within
At least
the,
one of you knows how to edit.
I'm not gonna edit. I'm not gonna edit anything. It's gonna
No,
be
no.
an hour and a
They
half.
can-
I was
of-
talking about Lincoln.
Oh well, maybe if
You
he,
don't know how to
can,
edit.
if he can edit it, he can have at it. But me and Lincoln are gonna have the best time.
I bet
Reviewing
Lincoln won't play Roblox.
I'm sure he will.
No, he won't.
Yes.
Lincoln, if you want to play Roblox and review it with Mark, get at him, and then we'll set it up.
Yeah. Yeah, and
But-
if you also want to get in touch with us, you can go, be quiet, Mark. You've had your time.
That was
You can
Scott.
get at us on Twitter and Instagram at Budget Arcade. You can find our Facebook, facebook.com/Budget Arcade. Don't forget, we're on TikTok with all the cool kids. Budget Arcade Podcast on TikTok. What else is there? Is that it?
Twitch.
Twitch TV/Budget Arcade Podcast.
If you would like to help support the show, you can join our Patreon at patreon.com/budgetarcade. You can also join our Discord from any of our social medias, as well as on our website. Music is provided by Stimage, and you can catch his music at metroidmetal.com. And game on.
Imagineville Podcast Network.
Introducing the Lowe's List for Innovation. While our aisles are filled with innovative products, we've selected our favorites just for you. Like the exclusive Whirlpool washer with industry-first 2-in-1 removable agitator. We love this washer because you can customize any load. And with other smart features to streamline your laundry routine, this product is a must-have for families. Shop the full Lowe's list of top picks at Lowe's.com. Lowe's, home to any budget, home to any possibility. U.S. only.